Good evening and welcome to TVB News. A Cathay Pacific and a Hong Kong Express flight had to return to the city mid-flight after experiencing issues. And experts said the decisions could have been made for several reasons, ranging from technical errors to concerns for passengers' safety. Timothy Lee has our top story.
Sorry for inconveniences. It was a safety precaution. We will always stay on the safe side. Thank you.
A sudden twist of events on an HK Express flight, quite literally, as the plane had to return to its point of departure mid-flight. The affected UO132 flight was originally scheduled to fly from Hong Kong to Kaohsiung in Taiwan at 12:45 p.m. 45 minutes after departure, the pilot announced the need to return to the SAR. Crew members told passengers another plane would be arranged for them and that engineers would inspect the plane's wings. Some passengers recalled their experience. This woman said the plane suddenly shook and that she heard some other passengers screaming. She said many people had no idea what was going on. HK Express said a signal problem occurred mid-flight and that the pilot was following procedure to return to Hong Kong. Meanwhile, HK Express's parent company, Cathay Pacific, also had a hiccup. Earlier today, the CX596 flight departing from Hong Kong for Osaka in Japan at 8:36 a.m. had to return to the city after flying for 15 minutes. Cathay said they noticed a signal problem mid-flight and had the plane return to the city as a safety precaution. A flight tracker website indicated it was caused by an unlocked cargo door. Cathay apologized for the incident and scheduled a separate flight for affected passengers. Chim Wing-nin, a spokesperson of the aircraft division of the Hong Kong Institution of Engineers, said several reasons could have caused the flights to return, including mechanical malfunctions, the weather, or as safety precautions. He added pilots have instructions for such incidents during basic training and in their manuals. Timothy Lee, TVB News.
The Census and Statistics Department has released the Consumer Price Index figures for September, showing a slight rise in inflation. Overall consumer prices rose by 2% year-on-year in September. That's larger than the corresponding increase of 1.8% recorded in August. Netting out the effects of all the government's one-off relief measures, the year-on-year rate of increase in the composite CPI, the underlying inflation rate, in September was 1.8%. That's also more than the 1.5% in August 2023. The increases have been attributed mainly to surging food prices, in particular for fresh vegetables, as a result of the impact of typhoons and extreme weather in September. Overseas, Israeli military said Friday it struck 100 operational targets belonging to Hamas as they continued to strike across the Gaza Strip. As Israeli tanks gather near the border, Israel's defense minister told troops they would soon see the Palestinian enclave from inside. Tracy Furness reports.
Israel continues to pound Gaza with airstrikes, putting the enclave's 2.3 million people under siege. 2 weeks after Hamas gunmen rampaged through Israeli towns, killing at least 1,400 people and taking scores of hostages. Here, another rocket launch from Gaza was intercepted by the Iron Dome air defense system over Tel Aviv Thursday night. This as a build-up of Israeli tanks and troops near the border between Israel and Gaza on Friday makes it look likely that a full-scale Israeli invasion of Gaza may be imminent. Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant told troops at the Gaza border that they would soon see the Palestinian enclave from inside and to be ready for a ground assault, but he did not say when that would begin. And on the Israel-Lebanon border, more targeted strikes. Israeli military hit different groups, including Lebanon's Hezbollah, which supports Hamas. An Israeli military spokesperson told Reuters that Hamas was trying to engulf Israel in a 2- or 3-front war, including the Lebanese border and the West Bank. Meanwhile, in Bangkok Friday, the bodies of 8 Thai nationals killed in the Hamas attack on southern Israel arrived at a Bangkok airport. Thailand's Foreign Affairs Ministry said that 30 Thais are feared dead, while 16 are reportedly injured and 17 are believed to have been abducted. About 30,000 Thai workers are in Israel, mostly agricultural workers, and around 5,000 were working in the area of the attack. Tracy Furness, TVB News.
U.S. President Joe Biden has spoken directly to Americans following his trip to Israel. In a primetime address, Biden defended his stance on Israel and set out why it is imperative to curb Russian aggression. He says it is vital for America's national security. David Garrett reports.
Biden arrived back on US soil and within hours was in the Oval Office addressing the nation. The US president spoke to his fellow Americans about the Israeli visit. He looked straight down the camera and told them what he saw and how he feels they need to respond.
More than 1,300 people slaughtered in Israel, including at least 32 American citizens. Scores of innocents, from infants to the elderly grandparents. Israelis, Americans taken hostage. As president, there is no higher priority for me than the safety of Americans held hostage.
Biden outlines why the US backs Israel and classifies the militant group that controls Gaza as terrorists.
Hamas does not represent the Palestinian people. Hamas uses Palestinian civilians as human shields, and innocent Palestinian families are suffering greatly because of them.
Biden also spoke on Russia's invasion of Ukraine.
Hamas and Putin represent different threats, but they share this in common. They both want to completely annihilate a neighboring democracy, completely annihilate it. And it's natural to ask, why does this matter to America? So let me share with you why making sure Israel and Ukraine succeed is vital for America's national security. You know, history has taught us that when terrorists don't pay a price for their terror, when dictators don't pay a price for their aggression, they cause more chaos and death.
Biden says the US is committed to both military causes.
I'm going to send to Congress an urgent budget request to fund America's national security needs, to support our critical partners, including Israel and Ukraine. It's a smart investment that's going to pay dividends for American security for generations.
The reported $100 billion request is to fund national security needs over the next year and will include money for Israel and Ukraine. However, polls show American support for Ukraine is flagging. Some Republican politicians don't think it is a priority. Pushing through legislation is tough, while the House of Representatives is still without a speaker. David Garrett, TVB News.
As the conflict between Israel and Hamas fuels tensions in the Middle East and beyond, the U.S. State Department issued a worldwide alert for American citizens to use increased caution when traveling abroad. Hundreds of protesters clashed with Lebanese security forces near the U.S. Embassy in Beirut.
We issued a worldwide caution alert where we advised U.S. citizens that due to increased tensions in various locations around the world, the potential for terrorist attacks, demonstrations, or violent actions against U.S. citizens and interests, the Department of State advises U.S. citizens overseas to exercise increased caution.
The U.S. State Department's move came as an American Navy warship shot down missiles appearing to head toward Israel on Thursday. U.S. bases in Iraq and Syria were repeatedly targeted by drone attacks. Elsewhere, a Russian-American journalist working for a U.S. government-funded media company has been detained in Russia and charged with failing to register as a foreign agent. Radio Free Europe/Radio Liberty editor Alsu Kumasheva is the second U.S. journalist to be detained in Russia this year. President Xi Jinping has met with state leaders who attended the Belt and Road Forum for International Cooperation in Beijing. During his meeting with Thai Prime Minister Srettha Thavisin, President Xi said China-Thailand friendship is deeply rooted in the hearts of the people, adding both countries should work together to tackle online scam to build a more stable Thailand-China community. Thavisin said Taiwan is an inalienable part of China. Xi also met with Prime Minister of Pakistan Anwar ul-Haq Kakar, who said China and Pakistan are all-weather strategic cooperative partners. Locally, a 20-month-old baby died on Thursday after catching COVID. The Center for Health Protection said the baby boy had a good health record before testing positive to COVID on Tuesday. The boy was brought to United Christian Hospital on Wednesday and stayed in the pediatric intensive care unit overnight. After clinical diagnosis, the boy was found to have other complications, including pneumonia and sepsis. His condition then continued to deteriorate, and he was later pronounced dead at the hospital. The fixed penalty for littering and illegal disposal of construction waste will be significantly increased to protect public health. The new tariffs come into force on Sunday. Under the amended fixed penalty ordinance, those found guilty of dropping litter or spitting could be fined up to $3,000, and the penalty for shop front extensions and the illegal disposal of construction waste will be $6,000. The Food and Environmental Hygiene Department said it has been conducting educational work to raise awareness. Ocean Park held a celebration event today for Hong Kong athletes who clinched a record 53 medals during the recent Asian Games in Hangzhou. Memo Sangai spoke with some of the athletes.
These are the proud Hong Kong athletes who competed in the recent Hangzhou Asian Games. The team achieved historic results during the event by winning 53 medals, 8 gold, 16 silver and 29 bronze. The mixed team in Shanqi or Chinese chess won bronze, the first time the SAR has won a medal in this event at the Asian Games.
We feel really excited after winning the medals, and because last time in Hangzhou 210, it is Chinese chess is a performance event only. But this time in Hangzhou, and it is athletics event.
Kenneth Falk, leader of the Hong Kong Asian Games delegation, said while the results are impressive, he hopes for more resources to be made available for the psychologists and doctors. Meanwhile, Ocean Park said there have been more visitors going to the theme park over the past few months.
The outlook is very positive, of course, mainly from mainland, but coming from Southeast Asia, we also see a significant increase.
With Halloween approaching, Ocean Park believes its theme facilities will attract more people. For instance, visitors can take pictures with the ghostly school bus. Memo Sangai, TVB News.
That's the news. Thanks for watching.